Hi guys, welcome back to the fourth and final video on damaged orchid leaves, what signs and symptoms are of damaged orchid leaves. So in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about what a bacterial infection looks like on an orchid leaf, how to deal with that, and I'm also going to look at what cold damage looks like on an orchid leaf and what we can do and don't do to help prevent that in the future. Alright, so the first plant we're looking at here, this is a Mastiff Ailya. Absolutely gorgeous Mastiff Ailya. It is loaded with flowers, buds, and blooms, beautiful orange flowers on it. Very healthy plant. I did notice a few yellow leaves starting on it. Now, as we talked about in some of the other videos in this series about damage on orchid leaves, we're going to know that some of these leaves are just from old age. Mastiff Ailya leaves only last a year or two. So on a plant like this, there's probably leaves that are 1, 2, and 3 years old, so those leaves are going to start to deteriorate. The older leaves are usually the ones that are a little bit more susceptible to problems as well. So what I want to show you today was this leaf here is clearly an older leaf, but I also want to show you sort of what a bacterial infection would look like on the leaf. Now, bacterial infections aren't anything to worry too much about. They're easily controlled. The best method to control them without using chemicals is just simply cut off the leaf. Now, we always sterilize the scissors. I've used a rubbing alcohol solution to sterilize the scissors for this. And let's see if I can bring this a little closer. What we want to do is just go in and snip off the leaf there and remove the problem leaf. There's a few others that are starting to show signs. That black dot there, if you look from underneath, it's just as clear. It's probably a bacterial infection as well. So, and something like that, we could even just cut the leaf in half to remove it, and now the problem is gone. And as I say, bacterial infections, they are more common in Mastiff Ailyas and plants that like to be wet, but if you've overwatered your orchid and it's constantly wet, you could see signs and symptoms like that as well. So I'll try to show you this leaf here, what it looks like. So with a bacterial infection, you can tell because the bacteria actually gets into the cells of the plant and actually destroys the actual structure of the plant. So not only are these black spots or brown spots, they're actually like divots in as well. You can tell there's no leaf actually left there, and it will slowly spread out and around it. You can see how it's yellowing the leaf there, and there's a few other spots that are starting underneath this leaf, and it's starting to show through the top as well. So on a leaf like that, it's perfectly fine to remove the leaf from the orchid, especially in this case. You know, it's definitely a healthy plant. There's good roots. It probably has 75 leaves on it. Very nice and healthy. So removing 1 or 2 of the older yellow leaves isn't going to hurt anything. In fact, it's just going to free up a little space so that more light can get down to the roots, and then more leaves and buds will go. So you're looking down here, there's blooms coming out everywhere on this one, so definitely not an unhealthy plant at all. Alright, so what I'm going to show you for the last orchid on the last of this video series. This has been a 4-part series, so if you missed the other 3 videos, please check them out as well. Links in the description below. We're going to talk about some cold damage. Phalaenopsis are very susceptible to cold damage. They are a warm growing plant. So if I'm going to ever see cold damage in the greenhouse, it's generally on the Phalaenopsis. They're kind of my canary in the coal mine. What cold damage looks like is not only a yellowing of the leaf, but the leaf actually gets a little bit soft and mushy in there. So I don't doubt that this leaf is going to come off. And it was one that was touching the outside pane of glass there, or the polycarbonate panel. And the nights have just been a little colder, so I'm assuming it got a chill, and as a result, it's turned a little bit mushy, and should be removed just to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, and since it's probably going to come off anyways. So remember, always sterilize your scissors, and we're going to remove that leaf there. See if I can put that down without it going anywhere. And there's an up close of the leaf with some cold damage. Just sort of soft and mushy. I'm thinking that that spot was probably resting on the window there, and everything just got a little bit chilled. So not to worry. The plant itself will be fine. It will survive. It's got some new growth, some new roots coming out on it. So nothing to worry about there. Alright guys, that is the fourth and final video in the series. I hope you enjoyed this series about orchid leaf damage, how to ID what ailment has afflicted your leaf, and how to deal with the treatment, whether it be removing it or not worrying about it, or just correcting your cultural behavior for next time. Anyways, if you haven't seen the other 3 videos, please check those out, and if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.